Okay, I just got it.
Yeah, you made it.
Hey,
How are
hey,
how are you?
I'm doing good.
It has been forever.
I know.
So I'm so excited to have you back on the Girl Talk panel. Definitely gotta update us on everything that has been going on with you because we haven't heard from you in a minute, and I know you and I haven't really connected. Trying to fix my phone.
That's what I was trying to do, trying to get it in a
No.
position.
Okay. So yes. So what is new with you? What is happening?
Well, I am currently in the process of rebranding, so bouncing
Okay.
back.
Okay.
I am rebranding my clothing brand, Naked Secrets, and just coming out and being more intentional with my brand and kind of finding my own wave and my own niche. So, right now is a very adventurous time for me.
Okay.
I'm still nursing. I'm still doing that. I'm never going to stop that. But right now, I think I'm more so venturing towards my passion.
I love the word adventurous. I feel like all of life is always adventurous. No matter how old you get. But I do want to just kick it off and introduce ourselves to the audience and those who will be watching the recording. I am author Nicole D. Miller, and I will be hosting our upcoming Girl Talk Women Who Bounce Back November 24th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Ink Therapy Studio. And I have here Secret, who is going to be a featured panelist. So you can introduce yourself, Secret.
Hi, my name is Secret, and I am going to be on the panel for Women Who Bounce Back. I'm excited. I've been a part of Girl Talk for a while now, and this is just exciting to have another in person experience. This is my first in person experience with you, so that's going to be fun. A little bit about me. I am 31 years old. I have been in Cleveland now for 10 years.
Wow.
Still not used to the weather. Still getting beat up by the weather. But I am a nurse. I'm an RN. I have my bachelor's in nursing, and I have been a nurse for the past 8 years. And I served as young as infants and as old as great grandparents. And I continue to do it. It's something that I enjoy to help out with people, and I'm also very big in servitude. So I do a lot of community give back. I have in the past partnered with New Era Cleveland. And currently, I am sitting on the board for the Love Project, which is a subsidiary of New Era Cleveland. So that's very exciting. And I'm just excited to see what the rest of this year brings and what next year brings. And of course, my brand, Naked Secrets, which is full of hand sewn amazing products that I'm excited to get out there to the public.
Awesome. Well, you definitely been keeping busy.
Always.
And you weren't featured in the panel discussion we had in person, but you did help behind the scenes. So I do want to point that out that you've still been an advocate supporter and of course behind the scenes rooting us on. And you were able to connect me with New Era. So shout out to them. For my goddaughter who's lurking in the background. You probably saw her creep in the background. But tell us more about rebranding. What inspires you to do that, and what is the new direction you're going in?
Rebranding it for me is very personal. And mostly just because when I started my brand, I was very successful. Like I had a lot of clientele, I was booming, but I faced a lot of battles with my mental health. And at that point, I kind of had to choose myself and put myself first and understand how important it is that I am mentally stable before I continue to pour into anyone else. And so now that I am older, it's been about 2.5 3 years now that I am older, I have a lot more patience underneath my wings, I'll say. And I also just kind of value time differently. It's a lot different to come out because now I'm not so much doing what people want me to do, or I'm not trying to go for what people want. I'm going for what I want. And by me doing so, I'm creating my own brand in my own lane. So that's very important to me right now is branding. When I'm saying rebranding, I mean I am completely phasing out of the just standard typical making t-shirts and selling them. There's nothing wrong with that. Those who still do it, amazing. keep at it. But for me, my passion has always been to sew. And so I am starting to live more through my passion and a lot less through, the corporate world.
Gotcha. And, hats off to you for saying my mental health matters. I see that, happening with our generation. Unfortunately, older generations weren't taught that. And so they just kind of sacrificed their mental health. And I think as entrepreneurs, even more so, I don't want to say more so because 9 to 5s are hard too. But as entrepreneurs, we don't typically get days off. And so you have to be intentional for that self care. And I know, like the field that you're in, even with nursing, I know you guys work like different hours. So your mindset may not be for self care. It may be, let me knock off these three 12-hour shifts at once and keep it moving and then be a mom and do all the other things, right?
Yeah.
So hats off to you with that. What I'll say is my own personal experience with rebranding, that is where everything took off for me. So I've been an author for 10 years. But it wasn't until 3 years ago that I got serious that I was like, let me look at my marketing analytics, let me reshoot my headshots, let me market myself as a fictional author. And that's when things like really took off because I had more of an idea of my purpose. And I think that that does come in time. Like for you, it was a few years, probably, in the making. You said a couple years ago. And I think it's just we have to grow. You can't just expect to have all the answers immediately. And I think sometimes our culture puts this pressure on us to know it all when we're young, but like life is the best teacher, right?
Yeah. No, that I've definitely learned that from it's just sometimes you just think that when you come out with your brand or, just with yourself in general, you think you're supposed to be everything's perfect. And that was me. Everything had to be perfect. So I came in running and blowing money immediately. And now that I have that knowledge that nothing is perfect, nothing in life is perfect. The best example I could give is I always tell people I beat myself up so much in the past about the things that I make because I am a perfectionist. But if I go to the store right now and buy something and take it apart, I'm going to see every flaw that a professional did. So they're no different than me. I'm no different than them. The only difference is whether or not you believe in yourself. So I'm happy to be able to say that because when you do deal with some mental health issues, and depending on what they are, you do start to doubt your own talent, you doubt your own self. But the bounce back was not only did I have to rebuild myself, leaving a relationship, dropping my brand, everything. I also had to rebuild my mental health. So it was more than just a physical thing. It was a lot more mental for me than physical.
And I love that you brought in a new perspective of bouncing back. I hadn't kind of thought about the mental health aspects. I know we've all had a variety of experiences and some of those overlap, but mental health is a huge one. So, can you give us like a little tidbit of what you might share in our upcoming conversation at Girl Talk about bouncing back specifically with your mental health?
Yes, for sure. A few years ago, and I'm a very transparent person because if my story can help the next person, then it wasn't for nothing. And so a few years ago, I went through a lot. Mentally, depression, suicidal ideation, and it was almost to the point where I was contemplating checking myself in. And with me being a mom and with me having a business, and at that time I was already an LPN, and then I went on to get my RN, so I was in school. It was a lot going on. My grandmother died at this time. Me and my fiance split, we part ways, so it was a big, huge difference and jump in life for me. And it kind of felt like I was starting over. Like I remember vividly sitting in my room just trying to figure out whether or not I wanted to be here tomorrow. And so with that, having that thought, and you know, I don't want to get emotional,
Oh,
but having that thought to not want to be here anymore, to now realizing that what would the world be without me?
right.
That's the biggest bounce back ever.
Thank you so much, Secret, for sharing and just opening up that dialogue. I know I personally can relate. And one of my struggles with finding purpose when I was crying out to God after grieving my mother and just not feeling like I had a reason to be here. Why am I here? One of my biggest struggles was not having children. Like, but
Mhm.
I know that you're a mom, but that still wasn't enough. It's like you still have to find something inside of you. That's what
Yeah.
it sounds like you're saying. So even that like dismantles my misunderstanding of that. But for me, it was writing that saved me. But also working out. So I remember that day part in particular crying out to God, like, why am I here? Why am I here? And my body, it was not me. My body got up, put on my workout clothes, went to the car and went to the gym. I was like, okay, this is just supernaturally happening right now. And not to say that that was the end of it, but it just helped me release some of the things that I was dealing with and push those endorphins out of my system. And then writing, creative writing especially, was a saver for me. Would you say your artwork, your creativity, and sewing, was that an outlet for you?
For me, one moment. Like, let me get myself together.
Girl,
For
it's
me,
possible.
I did yoga. Honestly, I had to go on a whole spiritual journey. Like, I really had to find myself because I grew up in a life where I really didn't know who I was, honestly. And because I faced so many, traumatic situations growing up, I was just tough. Like, that was it. Like, I was just a tough person. And no matter what, I was going to get through it. And I didn't come from a family that coddled you. They weren't rubbing your back, telling you it's going to be okay. So I kind of had to figure a lot of things out, and I was a young mom too. I had my baby at 19, and I'm very transparent with the fact that my first child is from rape. So I had to bounce back once I actually acknowledged that fact, and once I actually opened up about that fact. It honestly kind of felt like the trauma just disappeared in a sense, if that makes sense. Like there's so much release in actually telling people what's going on and explaining to people what you're going through. And sometimes when you kind of try to shoulder the burden on your own, that's when you kind of fall and you fail. And so for me personally, I feel like I did, once I started opening up and telling my truth, that's when I started to bounce back.
I love it. Thank you so much for entrusting us with this conversation. And truly, that is what inspired Girl Talk. So, when I was dealing with my own struggles, God was putting on my heart to share that in this safe space of female leaders. Hearing everyone else say, yeah, girl, me too, me too. Even if we have different experiences, we still could go through the same battles. Like, you may not have lost a child, but you know what loss feels like, or,
Mhm.
that sort of thing. And so that definitely was a component as well, and having that tribe and having those safe spaces to pour out and seeing that there's purpose in your story. So writing memoirs, which I've been doing in this season, and writing my own has helped too, because it's like it's not for nothing. Like you said, when you tell your story, you get to see like it's not for nothing, it's helping someone else. And that really is the foundation of Girl Talk. So again, I just do not apologize for your tears. We want the tears. Tears are healing, you know what I'm saying? And it means this is a safe space for vulnerable, transparent conversation, especially as women leaders doing it all. We don't always get those spaces, right?
Right.
So that is Girl Talk. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share with folks who are thinking about coming, folks who want to support you, how they could reach out to you, how they could learn more about you and your brand, and any events you have that are upcoming?
Absolutely. So, you can follow me on Instagram. I do a lot of marketing and promotion on Instagram. My name is very long, so if you type in Zendaddy, Zendaddy, I am the secret caramel nurse babe. I'm the first thing that pops up. There's not another Zendaddy, it's just me. So that's one way that you can reach me to get in contact with me. I am a jack of all trades. I wear a lot of hats. So yes, my brand is Naked Secrets, and I focus a lot on clothing and just all things fashion is my passion. But also I am a life coach, and I do assist people, through a lot of people, mostly teens right now, but I do assist people through their mental health issues because it is nice to talk to someone who has been there with you. And then, as well as I am a yoga instructor, though I don't teach the traditional yoga. I don't focus more so on movement. I focus more on guided meditation, because for me, again, yoga saved my life because it helped me release a lot of things in my mental. And once I released those things in my mental, I was able to just soar from there, and I'm still soaring. So if you or anyone else that you know is in need of someone to just vent to listen to, and or if you've gone through things that I've went through, that you've heard today, feel free to reach out to me. My messages are always open. You can definitely look forward to this girl talk being full of a lot of surprises. The panel was amazing. I know a couple of the females. I've done girl talk with a couple of the females, and I know that they all have some amazing stories. And I've heard a lot of their stories, their trials and tribulations. So just for people to understand that you're not alone in just that general sense is enough. So look forward to knowing that you are not alone.
Thank you so much, Secret. We're so excited to have you again featured. For those who have not already grabbed their tickets, you can on Eventbrite. They are $10. It will be Sunday, November 24th, 6 to 9 p.m. at Ink Therapy Studio. All right, Secret. Well, thank you for your time, and we will be talking to you soon at Girl Talk.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. Have a good one.
You too. Thanks. Bye bye.